coach Dan Campbell spoke about his affinity for the local cuisine.
Is there a particular dish you want to have while you're down there to eat?
Yeah, again, somebody asked me that the other day. Shrimp gumbo is like my, man, down there it's good as gold.
Oh, Marcus, shrimp gumbo, yes, all the way, right? Pour it over me.
For my heart and my soul and the thing that I grew up loving. And Dan, don't look like that, because nobody is thrown off by you not liking shrimp gumbo or anything with seasoning. Let me and Boogie have this moment because we are the Southern darlings on the show.
By the way, gumbo is
like
spicier the better.
It's like a spicy sauce with
it's like a
sausage.
Sausage, shrimp.
It's called a roux. Yeah. It has sausage and shrimp. It has, Boogie, I mean,
so
listen, man, it's too much to explain to you right now.
Clam chowder from the Northeast.
It is the opposite of clam chowder.
Not copying anything. It's an original Louisiana dish, not copying anything.
We're going to actually make Dan try gumbo. That's up next.
Marcus, when I come to Texas to bust Junior's head in basketball, you make me some gumbo.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make you some gumbo. I know how to make gumbo.
Junior's a better basketball player than you,
I'm a bust.
Okay, we know that Dan Campbell likes gumbo, but one thing he does not like is the play of the Lions defense recently. Over their last 5 games, Detroit has allowed 29 points per game, tied with the Commanders for the worst in the NFL. The Lions have also allowed the highest QBR in the NFL. Their opponents have scored a touchdown on 81% of drives that reach the red zone, the highest rate in the league. Marcus, we spent a lot of time, even earlier on in the season, talking about how good the Lions were, how complete. But what have you seen as a problem area for this Detroit defense?
Well, one, the Chicago game, obviously this defense was put in a bad way. Even in a win, it was 3 turnovers. And asking your defense to continuously get stops, that's an issue. But, Dan, I was looking at this, and you talked about the pass rush, I think, a few weeks ago with Detroit. But we all know that it ties in. And the fact that they aren't generating the type of pressure they need is giving them opportunities on the back end. Now, let me tell you this. I don't care who plays in your secondary. I don't care how good they are. The more time quarterbacks have and the more opportunities they have to push the ball down the field, they will get exposed. It's football. It has nothing to do with if your guys are talented on the back end. Detroit has talent all over this defense. I think the issue that they're struggling with right now is, and then I believe over the last 3 or 4 games, they're giving up 30 points on defense. And it has a lot to do with the fact that they are not making quarterbacks uncomfortable. A few weeks ago, it was Justin Fields' legs. This past week, Jordan Love probably had the most time in the pocket and ability to scan and determine who he's going to with the ball than he's had probably all season long.
Marcus, you remember a couple years ago when the Cowboys defense played better than people expected? I think it was like 4 seasons ago. And it was like, well, they don't have any star players. Why is their defense playing at such a high level? And if you watched the games and looked at it, it was the reality that they were not on the field very long. They were playing little snaps per game. That's kind of where I'm at with Detroit. And going into this game, you look at Detroit's offense. Who are they? They have to be the thing that carries their team. We know that now. Their run game. And if you look at the Saints defense, this has been one of the best defenses in the NFL over the past couple of years, stopping the run with light boxes, not recently. In the last 4 or 5 games, that run game, they're getting dominated. And if you're Detroit and you're sitting, how do we, because I think this is a must-win for Detroit, fella. Like, this is a must-win. How do we win this game? It's got to be like the blueprint that's what's going to carry them into the playoffs. Dominate at the line of scrimmage, control the flow of the game, run the football on a consistent basis. Jared Goff hit those play actions. And then that, I guess, lesser of a defensive unit doesn't get exposed, that offense, right?
Yeah. And to D.O., to your point, and I know, I love the fact that we get to have these type of conversations. Detroit should, every time they hit the field, they should be trying to make this the most slugfest of slugfest you could possibly have.
Right.
That should be this team mentality. Because when they do that is when Jared Goff becomes prolific, when Amon-Ra St. Brown becomes prolific. But initially, teams have to believe that the Detroit Lions are about to try to bludgeon us.
Yes.
And once you get that in their head, then you start hitting the explosive. The one thing you talked about was how phenomenal Jared has been with play action.
Yeah.
That's a result because teams are bringing people into that box and expecting you to have a physical type of football.
All right, so the keys here, more play action, slugfest, dominate time of possession, eat shrimp gumbo.
They need to
That's
play
what it all
grimy
comes
football.
back